Recently, the NASDAQ has disappeared along with big chip makers like Nvidia, and today is no exception. Leading and rising on the exchanges are semiconductors. Patrick Moorhead, the creator, CEO, and chief analyst of Greater Insight Strategy, is joining us now with more. Patrick, we now have a number of these businesses to report. You just heard what Dan Hai had to say. In this cycle of AI build-out, what have we learned about our current position? Yes, the infrastructure suppliers are the most important factor. This covers not only the semiconductor companies, but also the names of the infrastructure as a service providers. Because the advances in companies like Nvidia, AMD, and Broadcom have been so significant, people are searching for any glitch that may occur. Everybody hops back on the train when another piece of favorable data comes out, even if they are searching for anything that might indicate a decline. During my appearance on one of your shows last week, I outlined my thesis, which states that the infrastructure build-out will likely continue for at least another year and possibly 18 months. The fear of missing out, or downstream FOMO, from those enterprise SaaS suppliers is the main cause of that. Meta made it very evident that they are making significant investments because they must. If you are not making investments and your rivals are, you may regress by up to 10 years. Naturally, the downstream value must exist in the long run. Additionally, I'm looking into companies that make corporate software, such as Salesforce, SAP, and ServiceNow. Additionally, I'm examining the second tier of what I refer to as AI infrastructure, which we briefly covered in reference to Qualcomm. Today, ARM even printed. I think the explosion in smartphones and AI PCs is about to happen. Investor worry has increased due to recent market volatility, and many are questioning if the panic is warranted. Although market swings are common, a number of causes could be causing the discomfort that is currently prevalent. Key worries are economic uncertainty, including inflation, and the possibility of a recession. In addition to causing uncertainty, central banks' quick changes in interest rates in an effort to curb inflation can also affect investor mood. Conflicts and trade disputes are examples of geopolitical tensions that add another level of complication that affects investor confidence and global markets. The 24-hour news cycle and social media's growing sway can intensify market responses. Information spreads swiftly, and dramatic headlines can occasionally cause investors to react wildly, which exacerbates panic. Additionally, when discussing ServiceNow and other enterprise software providers, what are the initial signs of return on investment that they are receiving? Yes, the first signs when the businesses will speak openly about it, because not all of them do. Adobe, for example, isn't being particularly explicit about it. ServiceNow, Salesforce, and even SAP's Christian Clean conducted a drill down with clients who were implementing, in my opinion, a 50% increase in productivity and a 20% increase in the amount of stickiness and revenue they can generate with certain consumers online are just a few of the incredibly astounding outcomes they are witnessing. Getting more people to accomplish more, getting them over these POs or trials, and bringing it to the general public is the current problem. We are aware that businesses tend to move more slowly than, say, consumers. Then there are drawbacks to that. You mentioned Apple, correct? Based on what we've observed and what Apple AI is introducing, and it alone has the potential to spark a huge surge in all things AI. Cristiano Amon, the CEO of Qualcomm, spoke extensively about the upcoming generation of AI smartphones during our conversation today. For example, installing the new Orion CPU, which improves AI performance, so it's taking place. Although I see signs that the downstream impacts will materialize, we must accelerate throughout the next 6 months to avoid people becoming really tense. Patrick, it's fascinating to hear you discuss how companies like ServiceNow are affecting productivity, but you also mentioned an Upwork research that revealed users of this technology weren't happy with it. They believe they are having to fix errors and that it isn't increasing their productivity. And I think, what is the risk? Will there be this prejudice on the part of the businesses? I have to make this big investment, even if it's not working. Is there a risk involved? I believe that using new technologies is always risky. Looking at PCs, smartphones, and enterprise SaaS software, for example, we can see that it takes time. Additionally, there have been some ups and downs. Because there are highly motivated parties involved, the tech sector and businesses have an incredible potential to come together. The best thing about an enterprise SaaS provider is that they can quickly make modifications to all of this. Getting the data estates in line has been the main factor that has taken so long, because in contrast to prior significant technological advancements, generative AI makes much more sense, even if data, trash in and garbage out, have always been important. Productivity is a benefit, but there are drawbacks and risks from the perspectives of security, complexity, and privacy. However, I am confident that the sector will be in a very strong spot downstream in the next 6 months. Patrick, I got to question you about Nvidia, so I want to go back to where we started with the chips. We're contractually required to bring up Nvidia in every conversation. Not really, but it feels that way, as Josh likes to joke. And as a result of that report from Morgan Stanley, it clearly experienced a significant uptick today. Those figures won't be available until the end of August. You believe that even the most optimistic projections will be blown away. Listen, I'm not changing my mind about the fact that Nvidia has at least another year left. We saw that TSMC, the location of Nvidia's manufacturing, is essentially sold out through 2025 and 2026. Microsoft and Meta recently informed us that they are pushing hard on this. Nvidia benefits from all of this. It's also beneficial for AMD, Broadcom, and Marvell, incidentally. Investors must be able to distinguish between short-term noise and long-term fundamentals in spite of these difficulties. Although frightening, market volatility is frequently fleeting. The effects of these swings can be lessened with a disciplined investment strategy that emphasizes diversification and long-term thinking. A long-term perspective helps investors stay focused on their financial objectives rather than responding rashly to market fluctuations, and diversifying investments across different asset classes and geographical areas can lower risk. In conclusion, even while the state of the market may seem concerning, the panic may not be totally warranted. Investors can deal with volatility more confidently and resiliently by concentrating on long-term strategy and keeping a diverse portfolio. I had the opportunity to interrupt with a recent hilarious story. In China, McDonald's asks whether you would want an Nvidia keychain with your McFlurry order. The issue is that they only made it available to less than 10,000 clients, even though it only costs $20. As a result, their Nvidia keychain, which retails for hundreds of dollars, is currently sold out. Alon said, "In that case, I will definitely have some," after stating that he was unaware that this was taking place. Just so you know, if you want to purchase this Nvidia keychain, click the first link in the description. I'm not sure if this is a joint venture. However, both McDonald's and Nvidia have posted about it in China. In any case, this product could sell for thousands of dollars in the coming years. We don't have many opportunities to purchase rare treasures like these. Anyway, we only have 100 pieces left, so hurry and click the link in the description. What do you think about the morality of this kind of thing? These are being released into the world, but you're releasing these decoders and graphic artists. Why do you think a visual chatbot that looks so human should claim to be a chatbot? Why does it seem so human that people begin to mistake it for one? Even if it's still rather robotic, they are emotionally vulnerable. And that's not a bad thing, in my opinion. We're going to be robotic for a while, you know. Although you and I both know that this digital human technology is still a robot, I believe we have made it fairly realistic. Therefore, I don't think that's a bad manner. In fact, there are a plethora of applications where human interaction is far more interesting than text boxes, with a human or nearly human representation. Perhaps someone wants a companion or medical advice for an outpatient who has just returned home. There are several applications for helping the elderly, you know. A tutor to teach a child. All these applications would benefit from having someone who can relate to the audience and is far more human. That's intriguing. Yes, these are software developments, which is what I've heard you talk about a lot today. Your GPUs are what they're using. In the end, though, this is software. Nvidia is moving up the stack in this instance. In the meantime, several businesses and individuals in the field of generative AI are